Grainmaker. Welcome, everyone, to the Grainmaker Wrestling Podcast, a prairie proud wrestling podcast covering everything from Winnipeg to worldwide. My name is Blair Pacheco. I hope you're doing well, having a great day, evening, weekend, whenever it is you're sitting down to listen to this. Now, as you know, I'm here in Winnipeg, and the wrestling scene here in Winnipeg is fantastic, and all across the prairies, it has been taken to another level. And my guest this week has been on an absolute tear. I mean, we chatted briefly earlier, and I mean, I thought it was only a year ago, but man, he has been cooking for over 3 years, it seems. He's joining me here today, but he's not in the prairies. We're going to talk about where he is, but joining me on the podcast this week is Riley Cruz. Riley, how's it going?
Hey, thanks for having me, Blair. I'm feeling great. I'm excited. I'm stoked, and I'm ready for this podcast.
Hell yeah. Now, you're based in Saskatchewan, but little do people know, I don't think, that right now you're down in Texas. What's going on down there?
Yes, sir. I am down south right now. I am not here for vacation or fun or anything like that. I'm here for business. What I mean by that is I'm down here for training at Reality of Wrestling. That is Booker T School down here. I was down here for a month last year. However, I thought the training was so good, it was so amazing that I just had to come back and double my time. So I'm going to be here for 2 months now.
Hell yeah. Now, I've got questions about this, but I'd be amiss if we didn't, kind of talk about where your love for professional wrestling first came. Like, what do you first remember about wrestling as a kid?
Okay, so the way that I fell into this crazy business, it's very similar to a lot of people's, right? You grow up as a kid, become a fan, and then that just snowball effects into getting into the ring. However, as a kid, I wasn't the biggest wrestling fan. I had a couple figures, but I didn't know what a Rey Mysterio was or an Undertaker was. I was a big collectibles guy as a kid. I don't know if you can relate, but my thing was Transformers and Star Wars and all those figures. That was my jam. And one night when I was about 12 or 13, give or take, I was browsing YouTube, and I stumbled across this guy. His name's Grimm's Toy Show. Oh, yeah. I used to watch him for his Transformer videos because he used to collect Transformers, but his main thing was wrestling figures. Okay. And then the more I watched him, the more I started to think, okay, this wrestling thing's kind of cool. These figures are kind of sick. And then he'd do these very outlandish matches, if you will. He'd go to McDonald's and get these, have these food fights with his action figures, right? It's super over the top. However, I kind of fell in love with it. And because of him, I started collecting the figures. And then I was like, okay, now that WWE's coming to Saskatoon, I'm from Mormon, right? So 20 minutes away. Yeah. Now I can see these guys live. They're not just in figure form. And then, I can watch Raw every week, So it's that very quickly fell into a love and a passion. And then I stumbled across a local training facility. And then here I am now, 3-4 years later.
Okay, now there's a little bit to unpack here. So I've got to ask, so collectibles, was Transformers your main jam, or what was your go-to?
Yeah, I think as a kid, I was a big Transformers guy. I grew up on the Michael Bay films. If you love him or hate him, for me, it's nostalgia. So yeah. that was my thing.
So because for me, it was the original, because I'm old. So for me, it was the original animated movie with Unicron. That is my jam.
Oh, are you kidding? I love it.
So
they may have killed off half the guys in the first 5 minutes, but it was still a great movie.
Of course, talk about just crushing kids' childhood as a
yeah, gotta love it.
And I even follow on one of my Instagram accounts, I follow a few toy collectors, and one is a big Transformer collector, and he's got the Unicron Gen 1 Transformer, and to me it's this massive orb, and I'm this is so cool.
It's the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, I wish I could invest more money into something like that.
Right? Yeah.
So okay, you kind of the collectibles kind of leads you into it, and then you're able to go see WWF in town. Did you ever go check out any indie shows as a kid, or was that, I guess, being in Warman, it's a little bit tougher?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, sir. Indies were kind of off the table when I was starting to get into it. I was just big into following the WWE network, and then whenever they would come into town. It was more so when I started to get into training and realizing that I wanted to pursue this as a possible career that I started to find the indie wrestling scene.
Okay. So what led you to where you did end up training at? Like, because El Assassino was one of your main trainers, correct?
Yes, sir, that is correct. So I was 15 at the time,
Okay.
and it was around this point that I wanted to take this seriously and see how far I can get in the wrestling business part of it. Um, so yeah, in Saskatoon, we have Prairie Pro Wrestling,
Mhm.
ran by El Assassino. He was my main trainer. I went down there. He said, when you're 16, sign up, get your parents to sign a waiver, and then I'll throw you in the ring.
Yeah.
Not in the ring, but in training, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully not. Jeez. So I turned 16, and then a couple days after that, had my first training day. Me and another cat who also showed up in LPW, Morris Waltz. We started
Mhm.
training the exact same day, and yeah, no. So I started when I was very young. Very fortunate for that. I still have my youthful stride with me, and I'm just very fortunate to have my parents and my whole family as a great support system through and through. But yes, I started with Prairie Pro Wrestling.
Okay. So what was that like, stepping into the training? Like growing up, well, I say growing up, but like you were 16 when you first started training, but like
I got you. Yeah.
were you fairly active as a kid leading up to that, like playing sports and much, or what was that like for you?
So funny enough, as a kid, I was always the bigger kid. I was the husky guy, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't. I was big into sports. I did flag football and soccer and all
Mhm.
that. My dad was the coach. Shout out to Andy, my dad.
Oh yeah, Andy.
Yeah, oh yeah. But I was never like big into fitness. But
Okay.
I eventually started putting on a bit of weight, and I started training around this time too. And then as wrestling started to go on, I figured, okay, I need to get my cardio up a bit. I need to get the guns going. So around, I want to say 2024, give or take, I lost maybe like 30, 40 pounds, whole bunch of weight. And now I'm currently working with a personal trainer, a nutritionalist, Blaine Phillips. And yeah, here I am now. So I was definitely a bigger kid, but wrestling kind of forced me to get in shape, right? So,
I think one of the most like something that's very commendable is the fact that like, how serious that you're taking it.
oh, thank you.
Because there's a lot of people who, and it's hey, whatever they're happy with, whatever they're comfortable with, is that's like they wrestle, that's it. But like for you, I know you're still younger as well, so being able to like, okay, you're gonna start upping your cardio, get a little bit leaner,
Yes, sir.
taking the nutritionist just to maximize your like physical growth as much as you can to help you as soon as you're in the ring.
Oh, that's really humbling, man. That really means a lot. I mean, I'm not getting any younger, so I gotta take this opportunity and grab it by the balls when I can.
So when you stepped foot to training, I mean, how are you feeling heading into that? Like, were you nervous, excited? What was going through the mind of Riley Cruz?
To be honest, I was very excited. I mean, everyone was super personable. Berto Assassino, he's a great trainer, along with Crash Crimson. He's also a big name in the training in Prairie Pro Wrestling. But no, I was excited, man. Very ecstatic. However, at the end of training, we all got our chops in. We got chopped by everyone there at training, and then that's when I felt, okay, I don't know if I really want to step into this anymore, because every time, this is how Assassino ran training. It's like if you made a mistake, then it equals one round of chops from everyone. And then I was still trying to get a hang of bumps and all that, and I rounded up like 3 rounds worth of chops from everyone. So I didn't get through it all. Berto had mercy on me, thankfully. However, after like round 1 and 2, I was like, I don't know if I can do this, man. So he showed me mercy. And then when I got home that day, I was showering, and obviously my chest was all red. I couldn't take the pain. And then I was laying in bed that night, and I was thinking, I don't know if I'm cut out for this or if I really want to pursue this, because obviously with training, it kind of opens your eyes up a little more to how things work in wrestling.
Mhm.
So I was just kind of thinking, do I really want to keep doing this? So I thought, okay, I'll keep pushing myself. I'll give it a couple more weeks and I'll just see what happens. And then it's strange because I wanted to quit. I wanted to give up, but then an opportunity came up where it's like, I'm going to be debuting at Prairie Pro Wrestling in October. And now here's another opportunity coming up and another match. Oh, and here now I'm going to Edmonton for Love Pro Wrestling, right?
Mhm.
So it's kind of like you go through that pain and your reward is being able to work the shows and now live out that dream. So it was definitely tough getting started, but eventually it was all worth it in the end, I'd say.
I think sometimes it's also like even you can't always see the progression of yourself as much as somebody else, like somebody can through another set of eyes, because obviously you're going to be hard on yourself because
Mhm.
like, if you mess something up or if you start having doubts, like it just, you start doubling down on like being harder on yourself. Whereas like somebody else could be looking at the exact same situation, be like, no, you're going to be, you're going to be having a match in a couple weeks. So like, I'm glad you stuck with it because it would have been so easy just to piece out of there. But like just sticking with it is a huge props.
Hey, thanks so much, man. Yeah, it was very cool for sure. I'm very blessed, and I really don't know where I'd be if I ended up quitting and just maybe sticking to a normal 9 to 5 job or going down a different path of life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So how long did your training last before you had that first match?
So I began. My birthday was May 31st. So May, June, July, August, September, October. I was 5 months into training when I had my first match.
Oh shit.
This was Prairie Pro Wrestling. Sometime in October, they have a Halloween show, and
Yep.
I was going to be in a singles match against Bucky McGraw. I don't know if that name rings a bell.
I'm familiar with Bucky McGraw.
Yeah, so that was my debut match. Unfortunately, I lost, but thankfully, super cool opportunity. Took care of me. My gear wasn't anything like it was today. I just borrowed El Assassino's old black singlet and kind of went out there with an extra 40 pounds on me. Not of muscle, too. But yeah, no, went out there, had a fun singles match. Super cool. I mean, the crowd was electric, and that first time is just always such a rush.
Oh, for sure.
And then given that it was a Halloween show, we do this little thing at Prairie Pro Wrestling where we have a Halloween costume battle royal, dress up as your favorite wrestler, and then go into the battle royal. So I was also Al Snow that night. So
Nice.
2 matches, double duty in my debut.
I'm familiar with the Halloween shows because I remember a few years ago, PPW had a poster hyping up one of them, and there was like just a baby on the poster.
Oh yeah, funny story. That was El Assassino's kid. Around that
Okay.
time, his wife just gave birth, so they ended up just throwing them on the poster. Because whatever. Shout out to Anthony.
Because I'm looking at this poster and I'm like, okay, cool. Like I'm seeing all these people I'm familiar with, and then there's just like a baby in there, and I'm
Right.
like, what's with the baby? What are we
Card
doing
subject to change. Yeah. You should have done the what was the angle with Lita who kicked the baby? Was it Snitsky or am I
here?
thinking?
It was Snitsky.
Yeah. Dang. Missed opportunity.
Somebody dropped the ball by not dressing as Snitsky entering that Halloween battle.
Right? I know. Regrets.
So your first match,
Mhm.
you're hyped for that, and like you start getting the ball rolling. I mean, I remember, and I mentioned to you off air, seeing your debut at LPW. I was there for the match. It was on the Speedball, was wrestling MRB in
Yes,
Edmonton.
sir.
Yeah, it was a hell of a show. Like that was a great match. You had Judas and Zoe Sager had a banger.
Mhm.
And I remember because I wasn't too familiar with you at the time, so all of a sudden, like there's this new guy here, Riley Cruz. And I remember being very impressed with what I saw, not knowing anything about you. So let's talk about, kind of taking opportunities, because I mean you weren't originally on the card for that, but next thing you know, Riley Cruz is making a name for himself out in Edmonton.
Yeah, no, it was honestly such a great opportunity. Usually we have the SK guys, we travel down together, we carpool. So I think it was for that show, me, Assassino, and Morris Waltz, I believe.
Mhm.
We made the trek down, and as you said, I wasn't scheduled. I think it was Eli Surge that had to back out of the scramble match. So they were scrambling, no pun intended. And then I just so happened to be the man that they called out. So I was super thankful for that opportunity. I believe it was like my 8th, 9th match even. So super cool to get out there so early in my career. And yeah, as you mentioned, the guys at Love are great. The shows they put on, the matches are awesome. Little side note, at the end of my match, because I did I think like a second rope moonsault during the scramble, Mike Bailey came up to me and he said he liked my crooked moonsault. A lot of people hate it that I don't get all the way around, but
Yeah.
I got the Terry Funk curse on that crooked moonsault.
Hey, that's okay.
So Mike Bailey has it approved. So if anyone gives me heat about it, just talk to Mike Bailey.
Hell yeah. I mean, hey, if he's giving you props, you got to be doing something right.
I guess so. Yes, sir.
Well, that was the thing. I know because you and Morris Waltz, you mentioned you two kind of starting off at the same time. And he was someone I remember having him on the podcast a while back.
Oh yeah.
And he had mentioned that you two, had entered training together. And I like that because you two are two very different wrestlers, but sort of get your starting point at the same time. And it's great just watching both of you grow and just like the different paths you take in wrestling.
Yes, sir. No, absolutely. It was cool talking to Morris Waltz because he came from more so like a martial arts background. He was big into that fighting scene. I wasn't big into that, but like to be able to train with him and see, I guess, little snippets of his, I don't know if it was, again, jujitsu or martial arts, something along those lines, to have that background and him apply it to what he does in the ring. I mean, you see his strikes, his kicks, all those kind of things. To see him move so fluently because of his background, it's great. I mean, as much of a jerk as he is, I mean, I can't say I'm very proud of him to see how far he's come. And I just look forward to seeing how far he continues to go, especially with this new character. He's amped up. He's really polished himself up. And he's definitely got a bright future as well, for sure.
I wanted to ask about those, the PPW shows. Cause I know, sometimes I check out a stream over on one of the YouTube channels that Bobby Munson hosts, and they because I know they're a big part of PPW and they talk a lot about it. The shows look so much fun. So I have to ask about the Prairie Pro shows and what it's like being a part of that.
Dude, honestly, the atmosphere it's truly electric. I mean, if I could pick an indie promotion to start off with, I mean, Prairie Pro was just a phenomenal choice. It just happenstance, right? Because the crowd, they're so into it. They're so passionate. There's so many hecklers. I mean, it's a great time. For our Halloween shows, I mean, the costumes that all the fans dress up in is just amazing. I saw one guy dressed up as like a shrub, just like a tree bush. And everyone's just so into it. The signs are creative and oh my goodness, man, it's truly a different vibe. I mean, not burying reality of wrestling here or anything by any means. But they just did a show last night and great crowd, great reception and everything. However, as much as the crowd was into it, I can say that I definitely miss those heckles from the crowd or like, the fans chanting up, their fists in the air, they're throwing stuff in the ring, they're screw you, F you, and, blasphemous and all that. Again, reality is great, but like there's just something different about Prairie Pro's indie style, you know what I mean? And I kind of like that grittiness to it, and it hypes up the guys in the back too. I mean, we don't want you to be quiet when we're out there, make as much noise as you want, hate us, love us, whatever you want, free reign. So definitely a super cool atmosphere. And if you can ever make it down, I mean, it's a hoot, it's a riot.
It's on my list. So I already told the guys, Bobby and Papa Smokes there. I said, hey, if I come down, first round will be on me. So, like it's only a matter of time before I make my way out there.
Oh, I can't wait. Can't wait to see you down there, man.
Now I have to ask you, you mentioned the hecklers. Was there ever been a point where one of those hecklers have, kind of maybe made you crack a smile in the ring or maybe got a chuckle out of you?
None really ring a bell. However, I've had times where I go out and I'm the baby face. I'm supposed to be, white hot baby face. And then there'll be some guys that just hate me and boo me. I remember I did have a match against Uncle Phil. He was supposed to be the heel and I was the face. I think this was my third match in. And he, I came out there, yeah, let's go. And, a couple cheers, whatever. And then Phil comes out and he just has way too much class, too much energy. And he goes out there, let's go. He's supposed to be the heel. And everyone's, yeah, Phil. And then they start booing me. And I'm like, do I need to pull like a Rock and Hogan from WrestleMania 18 and, change the pace and the whole match? But I'm like, I'm not experienced enough. I'm like 3 matches in. We'll just go with what we have.
So now I have to ask, because I know I'd seen you on the flyers before, that you have worked for Winnipeg promoter Tony Condello in the past.
Yes, sir. I've been very fortunate. Yes, sir.
Now, have you only done the shows like in Winnipeg and surrounding areas, or have you done one of the northern tours?
Well, thanks to Massive Damage, I was able, and Wavell Star, I was able to get contacts with Tony Condello, and I have been on the northern tour. I was on 2025. That was quite the experience.
Yeah, I mean, it goes down in like the history of Canadian wrestling, just how impactful these tournaments have been, or not tournaments, but these sort of trips have been. Guys who we grew up watching, they did those trips when we were fans. So that experience, I mean, it has to be a complete different vibe from everything that you were used to at that point.
Oh, yes, sir. 100%. I remember when I was getting into the business, hearing about the Northern Tour from Vance, Nevada, and all these other guys. Al Assassino did it. I believe Crash Crimson did as well. And, hearing about the stories, I figured, that's on my bucket list. That's something that I got to do. Before I retire, I got to do a Northern Tour. So I was super fortunate again and very blessed to do it when I was very young still. So 2025 rolled around. I did a couple small tours for Tony before that, get to know him and all that. And then eventually we made our way up north, Manitoba. And yeah, it's a different world, man. Some reserves don't even have running water. You have to pack your own food. I remember on that tour, I lost like 10 pounds of weight just because I wasn't eating enough. And the sleeps were deadly because, sleep on school floors in the cold, whatever, all that. And you just have to get through it and go out and wrestle like everything's fine. And then the drives, man, the drives ate up most of the day for sure. It can range from 8 to 16. And then we at one point had a 28-hour drive. That one killed me for sure. And it wasn't even like, we have a nice spacious truck. We did have trucks. However, there were 5 of us crammed in there. And me and this, the referee, we have to switch places between the middle and left seat because it was brutal, man. My left knee is still a little bit bugged because, I guess just being cramped in there for so long. And I'm a bit of a taller cat, right?
Yeah.
So, my left knee, if I have it bent for too long, then it just starts to act up. And I believe that's from the tour. So that's my battle scar. That's my reward for doing it.
I mean, people have mentioned, just how taxing it be, like mentally, the drives, being up there. But the one thing they always say is the reactions from the fans and, going to the schools and, if there's the opportunity to talk to them, just how much that meant to them, because realistically, you're impacting these kids' lives to like, just, being there and wrestling from them and being that support for them out there.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you definitely have to look at it from their perspective. I mean, when you're up there, there's no concerts coming around. I mean, Creed's not going to take a moment to go up north to see
Not at all
these kids. So for this to be possibly their only form of entertainment throughout the entire year, I mean, yeah, it's super rewarding. I mean, those hour-long drives and not getting enough rest or food or whatever, all that gets thrown to the wayside once you get out there, and then you're able to actually provide some form of entertainment and even hope for these people in the communities. It's really eye-opening. And the matriarch Sage, she's one of the workers up there. Obviously her background very familiar with the people that we go up to see up north. She has a huge impact on them as well. Very cool stories from people saying, you really turned around my life. You've given me hope, right? So that's kind of what it's all about, and it's just so cool to see, and I'm just so humbled to be able to be one of the performers to do that.
Yeah, I remember there was a CBC documentary that they followed them and recorded, and seeing the reaction the kids had when they saw the matriarch there and wrestling in front of them, like it made me teary eyed just how happy they were, because you saw how much it meant to them.
Oh, 100%. It's when you're on the road for, whatever it was, 2-3 weeks, you gotta have some sort of family bond with everyone around you. And it's just an amazing opportunity. And I definitely suggest that all wrestlers out there should give it a shot, because as tough as it is, it's equally as rewarding.
How are you guys passing the time on some of those long drives from town to town?
For me, it was sleep. That was my best friend, because let me tell you, those school floors aren't comfy. I've taken plenty of bumps, and it's never accustomed me for those school floors. So for me, it was sleep. I downloaded a couple tunes on Spotify, and then that was pretty much it.
Yeah. So, all right, I got to ask, because right now, we mentioned at the beginning of the show, you're down in Texas training at Reality of Wrestling. It's your second go around there. So let's talk about the first time headed down. And how did this come to be that you're all of a sudden, you're down there training at Booker T school?
Yeah, no. So, I mean, no shade to Prairie Pro Wrestling or anything like that, but I figured, it's time to spread my wings, that Queen song, spread your wings and fly away. I had to fly away, and I had to find a school to do that. And then it just so happened to be Reality of Wrestling. I was browsing schools. I know Rollins has Black and Brave, and plenty of others that I could list off. But I figured Reality of Wrestling was the best way to go, because they work so closely with WWE, right? They bring in talent from WWE ID, NXT, all that. So that's like, I guess, the closest rung of the ladder till you get to the very top, right? So I went down there, met with Kevin. He's like the head honcho. He runs everything daily. Paid up however it costed. And it was 5 days a week training. Monday, Friday was intermediate classes, and then Tuesday, Thursday, advanced. Wednesday was promo class with AJ Sanchez, Top Dollar, formerly known as. And yeah, no, I loved it ever since. There's a world gym like 3 minutes away from the school. So I'm in my element. I just eat, sleep, wake up, go to the gym, train, repeat for a month. So I love that. And I figured just after this, I had to come down and give it another swing. And now I know what I'm getting myself into this time. So it's just equally as more rewarding.
So like the first time you're there, like, were you like, how long did it run for?
So they run year round.
Okay.
So if you live down here in Texas City, where they're located, you could just come down here, pay monthly, and then free reign forever.
Hey, that's all right.
Yeah, man. Good deal.
So, I mean, you were just down there for the month then?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's definitely tough visa wise. So I could only do the month, but yeah.
Oh, hey, that's all right. It's still something. The way I look at it is that, like, even though, you start off in, training at PPW, I mean, it's important to learn and to take in as much as you can, especially in the world of wrestling, because like there's so many knowledgeable people in it that you want to take in as much information and training as you can to help better yourself.
Oh, you're kidding? Yeah. I mean, there's so much to learn. You're always learning when you're wrestling. And then even with the intermediate classes, we're doing rolls, we're doing the basics, right? And even then I'm learning new stuff. I'm learning more about footwork. I'm learning more about timing and just all these little things that, in perspective, maybe doesn't seem like much, but it means the world in general.
Oh, for sure.
So no, it's been great all around. The trainers here, Ryan Davidson, everyone's great.
So after that first time you're down there, I mean, how were you feeling about yourself when you heading back home? Like after a month training down there, what was your outlook at wrestling afterwards?
I definitely had a different perspective. One of the most humbling things was realizing how big of a pond the wrestling scene is, right? Because up in Canada, traveling to Edmonton or Manitoba or whatever, you see a whole bunch of guys, but when you get down here south, I mean, it just opens your eyes to how vast the horizon is in terms of wrestlers. There's so many guys, super talented, great shape. And it was just really eye-opening to see just how many people are chasing the same dream that I'm trying to as well.
Yeah. And I think one of the things especially in the States, is the fact that so many towns it's easier to go town to town down there.
Oh yeah. Oh, are you kidding? Yeah. You drive 5 minutes and you're in the next state.
Yeah. So like you can do a show, like I'll say, like say you do a show in Minnesota, you can do one in Chicago the next night and it's not a big deal at all. Where here, like if you're doing a show in Winnipeg, like you can hope that maybe there'd be one in Brandon, but like anything else, and like, you might be pushing it.
Yeah, it's definitely the curse of Canada, having to travel a long ways for shows. But I mean, if you're in a hot spot, if you're in a hot scene, whether it's Alberta or, East or West or whatever, then you might be a little good. But yes, you're definitely right in that the States have huge, vast, ubiquitous amount of promotions.
So what kind of made you decide to head back down there?
So after last year, I loved the training. And after a couple more reps, for a few months, I figure, it's time to get back into it. I mean, right now I'm not doing post-secondary. I'm thankfully in a position where when I figure out what I do want to do, I can swing into that. But right now wrestling's my main focus. So I figured if this is my schooling and I want to take it seriously, then I need to get back for some more serious training on a consistent schedule. So I went around, I was asking a couple of guys about schools, Ringside Wrestling down in Regina. They brought down some Black and Brave guys. I asked them what they suggested, and they also figured that Reality of Wrestling was probably the way to go. So I thought, I mean, I'm already down here, or I've already been down here, so I might as well just come back down. And honestly, it's been great. It's a decision that I don't regret by any means.
Yeah. So, and you've been down there for a week so far for a second go around, correct?
Yes, sir. So far a week out of however many these 2 months are.
Hey, that's all right. And now heading back in there, I mean, has there been any familiar faces, or have you seen a lot of turnover with new wrestlers there training as well?
So I've seen some people get filtered out compared to last year, but there are definitely some cats that I remember, and they're all great guys for sure. All these trainees, even the wrestlers on the roster, like everyone's just so personable, so respectful. We're all just trying to chase the same goal. We're all building each other up, and no, it's honestly been pretty heartwarming to come back and see some of these guys that I haven't seen for a while. And obviously we chat on social media throughout the past year, but it's been great to catch up for sure.
Oh, that's awesome. So, I mean, probably down there for a couple months this go around. Any hopes towards the end of the year trainings, things you kind of have like goal wise that maybe you'd like to accomplish while you're there?
That's a great question. Honestly, right now, I'm just kind of riding the wave. I'm trying to absorb and take in as much as I can, be the best sponge that I can in terms of learning stuff. But I've really appreciated how in-depth they go with things. Even the basics, again, as I mentioned, they're very specific on that. And I feel like that just builds me up more and more and more. And I'm so excited to bring it back up north for sure.
I think one of the things that I am most impressed about with yourself so far is your willingness to put yourself out there, because, you know, you're, whether it's, you know, hopping in that car, making the trek out to Alberta to wrestle LPW, hell, you're, you know, going halfway across the continent, dipping down to Texas just to train, and the networking and the ability to put yourself out there that's a huge, especially if wrestling is something you want to do as like your full-time career.
Yes, sir. That truly means a lot. I appreciate you saying that. No, I definitely don't want to take this for granted. I mean, there's so many people that would literally kill for the opportunity that I have to have a support system backing me up and to come down for training. So I definitely don't want to waste a day, and always remain grateful for the position that I'm in. So I'm just trying to, again, push myself, see how far I can go, see how far it can take me, and then obviously having fun throughout the entire ride. And I feel like that's been going pretty well so far for the past few years.
Definitely. Any sort of set goals you have when it comes to the year as a whole? When you look at 2026, is there stuff that you want to make sure you get done?
I mean, it's tough with the wrestling business. Things happen very spontaneously. You can get a call and then now you're going down to this show or whatever.
Yeah.
For me personally, I just want to get in as many reps in as I can with whatever promotion, wherever it is. But no, it should be a fun year coming up. I'm going to be back for the summer, so hopefully things will ramp up for promotions all around. Hope to come down to Manitoba, and then along with wherever else is available. But no, it should be fun. I'm looking at possibly even more training, whether it's here or elsewhere at the end of the year. But again, none of this is set in stone. But more so reps. I think that's my main focus.
It's a good way to look at it.
Yes, sir. 100%.
Now, okay, I have to ask. So memorable matches. So I know, you know, you've been doing this for a few years now. So matches or moments that really stand out to you that you're kind of proud of.
I mean, obviously, as you go along, you like to have a favorite match, and then you wrestle a bit more, and now you have a new favorite match, and then so on and so forth. This past December 2024, 5. Oh my gosh, it's 2026. But just December 2025, I was in the Prairie Pro Wrestling World Heavyweight Championship match against Michael Allen, Richard Clark. Richard Clark. I can't do the flex.
The man with the longest name in wrestling.
Yes, sir. You know it. And super talented. Are you kidding? He's so close to breaking out. I mean, he definitely brought out the best in me going through the match. I think we had like 15 minutes to play with, and the whole time we were just going 100 miles per hour, spot after spot after spot. I mean, we were like 3 minutes in doing dives to the outside, and I was already blown up. But I was like, I'm having so much fun. He's really pushing me. This is a big opportunity, so I just kept going with it. I feel like that's definitely the proudest match that I've had for sure.
Nice. No, I mean, you see what he's been able to do, and, you know, getting the opportunities on, like, you know, Maple Leaf Pro.
Yes, sir.
You see, you know, what like Sinner and Sate out in BC have been able to do with Impact, and even Mojibari in Alberta, the opportunities he's gotten, you know, wrestling on the Jericho cruise, and I think he even wrestled in like Qatar. So I mean, like, he's getting out.
Yeah.
So for a while as a Canadian wrestler, it kind of seemed like the opportunities were not as present as before. So what does that mean to you, seeing that, like, you know, these are guys that, you know, that you have even shared the ring with, that are getting these opportunities, and like knowing that it is possible?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I'm super proud of all those guys for being able to push it and now get their name out there more so, not only in Canada, but internationally as well. So kudos to them. But it's definitely very motivating to see that the window for wrestling in Canada has just opened up vastly in the past however many years it's been. So, shout out to MLP and everyone else that have been the pioneers in making this happen. It's super eye-opening, and I'm just very excited to see what the future holds and seeing how far I can get with that.
Nice. Now, I ask everyone for a match recommendation. And it can be any matches, any promotions, any wrestlers. Pardon me. But one that you're a fan of, you think the listener should check out?
I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but I think I'm gonna have to backtrack to me and Clark from Prairie Pro Wrestling. I feel like that was a big milestone in my career. Very recent, but again, I'm super proud of it, and I feel like that's definitely a good start to the Riley Cruz Chronicles if you want to dive in.
And that it's up on YouTube, right?
Yes, sir. That's going to be on the Prairie Pro Wrestling YouTube channel.
Hell yeah. Now, for social media, if the listeners want to shoot you a follow, where can they find you? I know you're still down there for a couple more months. If you have any shows you would like to promote, there's an opportunity. Basically, anything you want to hype up, here's a chance.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Show-wise, nothing too crazy. I'm sure bookings will come up in the summer. However, every month on my social medias, I like to post where I'm going to be every single month. So just keep an eye out for that. Social medias, you can find me on Instagram. It's just Riley_Cruz with this logo, just in a circle. Same thing with Facebook, minus the underscores, just Riley Cruz at Facebook. And then also, if you search up Riley Cruz on YouTube and go to channels, it should be the same sort of gimmick there with my circle logo. And I believe that's it for my socials. You want to email me? Go for it. It's RileyCruz2112@gmail.com. That's your booking inquiries.
Perfect. I mean, that is a very slick shirt. We'll chat about that off air. But
thank you. I drew it myself.
That's awesome. Riley, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it.
Hey, thank you, Blair. Appreciate it. Stay blessed, man. Thank you.
Thank you to Riley. Thank you for checking out the podcast. I say it every time. I always say it. I appreciate you taking time out of your day.
Likewise.
Your first time listening, you can find this up on all podcast streaming platforms. You can find me on all social media platforms. And this is up on YouTube. You're probably watching this on YouTube right now, so you already know what's on YouTube. So this is just me rambling. But appreciate you checking out the podcast. We'll talk soon.